Hi, everybody. My name is Kevin.
And my name is Annie.
And we're Overcommitted.
We did it. Hi, buddy.
Oh, God. Hi.
It's been a day, a week, a month, a year.
It feels like we haven't done a podcast in like a month.
We have had a little break. We were supposed to film this a couple times and then
'Cause
really stacked up life events.
I remember we had stuff to talk about
Of
just life.
Yeah.
And then other life happened.
Life keeps happening.
What should we start with?
Let's start at the very beginning. A very good place to start.
Our air conditioning went out.
That was it, I think, yeah. That was like a week and a half ago.
That was
during LA's heat wave, during the last throes of LA's heat wave.
It had several 110-degree days.
Yeah.
Heat wave.
It was bad. We came home and you were painting a wall and I said, it's kind of hot in here.
Mm-hmm.
And then we slowly figured out that the AC had just given out.
Yeah, that was a real bummer. And I was in real denial about it. I think I thought I could
I was too.
fix it.
I didn't. I just thought it wasn't. I kept thinking if we turn it off and turn it back on, surely that's
what
going
I
to fix
mean.
it.
That's what I mean. I was so dumb. I went outside. I sprayed it down, which I've heard they can overheat.
That seemed to work a little bit for a second.
And it did.
Yeah.
Start spinning. But I should have known right away because it wasn't like, oh, I'm back. It was like spinning like it was dying.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, it's on.
But you and I both treated the AC like it was a parent. We were like, well, it gets tired probably. It might just be a little beaten down by the heat.
In the summer, it's just too much.
I bet tonight it'll perk up a little bit.
We thought it would perk up at night.
Give it a drink. Spray it with water.
It was broken.
It was broken, just like us.
And that was tough.
It was a hot, sweaty couple nights of sleep. And it was one of those times, too, where you're like, are we bad parents? Because it felt doable to me. Like,
yeah, same.
We got fans. Luckily, our family gave us some fans, and we had a fan. And so we put fans on everyone, and everyone slept in their underwear.
Yep.
Raunchy for the podcast.
All right.
And I was like, we're doing it. It's totally fine. And then like halfway through the night, or like once like it was like 10 o'clock and still 90 something degrees.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, is this abuse? Are we bad parents?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It was fun. It wasn't like in a good way.
I had to talk myself into being like, we go camping. Like there's times we've slept in weather like this.
Yes.
We are very privileged to be so worried about 90 degrees.
Exactly. My brother gave me like a blast from the past with it. I was telling him about it and he was like, oh man, that brought you back to New York summers, huh? And it was like one of those moments where somebody says something, that's like smell triggers. That was like a word trigger that was like, it blew my mind how I was like transported back to my first apartment in New York. We were in Astoria, Queens. We were on 42nd Street, so we got to tell people we lived on 42nd Street, but it's Queens. It's not the same one. Not even close to the same one. We were in a 2-bedroom apartment. There were 3 of us, so my brother and I shared a room.
Yep.
Twin beds.
2 fans? You had 2 fans, right? Or did you just have one oscillating fan? I can't remember. I slept in that bedroom a few times.
Yeah, you did. He wasn't there, though, those times. I think it was an oscillating fan.
Just one fan?
I think it was one oscillating fan.
I remember that.
But it's funny because when he said that, I was transported back to, sorry, guys, this is a sexy podcast. But I was transported back, my brother and I both in just our underwear. Just like on the twin beds, just like, oh, God.
I don't know if there's anything sexy about that.
Anything sexier about that.
Right, that's what I meant.
Anything sexier. We can edit that.
Sorry.
But when he said that, I was transported back because that was how I felt over the weekend, was just like that, you know what? If I don't move.
Yeah.
This isn't so bad.
No sheet.
No sheets.
I do not like sleeping without anything on top of me.
I don't either.
That's the worst. Again, sexy.
My God, guys.
I mean, without a sheet or a blanket on top of me.
Not suitable for work.
What's happening to us? But also the thing is, like, you kept posting about it on your page. I didn't post about it at all, but you kept posting about it.
It's content, baby.
Media. And people kept messaging you, like, get a hotel, which that made me feel like, are we bad parents? But this is a thing about me. I don't like to spend money on anything that is not fun. Like, if I'm not going to enjoy it, the idea, if I can avoid shelling out money.
Explain why you wouldn't enjoy it.
Well, because
why wouldn't you enjoy a hotel with the...
I guess the first night we weren't going to do it because I think because we just committed to trying it for the first night. The first night we probably could have done it. It might have been fun. But we had plans the next day to go to the beach with our family.
Yeah.
And so we were like, we can get through tonight. And then the second night would have been where when we realized we weren't getting anyone to fix the AC until Monday. So we were going to have night number 2. That would have been the night I would have considered it as far as like, now we've been through it. We know about how bad it is. But the kids had school the next morning, and I had work the next morning, and like couldn't call out of work.
Yeah,
it's like I got deadlines going on.
I had deadlines.
I got deadlines. Okay. I'm wheeling and dealing.
Do we work at a newspaper?
I had deadlines the next day, so there was just like no calling out. There was no going to a hotel and having a fun night. If we're gonna go to a hotel, I want to spend money going somewhere fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, we considered going over to your brother and sisters who lived near us, but we just decided to sweat it out for another night. It really wasn't that bad. But I will say that then the following day, our kids were just like kind of listless.
Yeah.
I think it was from the beach, too.
The beach was a rough day.
Yeah, our daughter spent the entire day in the ocean.
Yeah.
And we were there a long time. So I think it was from the beach, too. But our kids on Monday were definitely like beat.
Yeah, it's great.
So that also made me be like, are we bad parents?
No, we did our job as parents. We exhausted them.
We exhausted them so much that Monday was
That's
rough.
what they want. They can't wait to go to school because it's too much fun with their parents.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
But here's another beef that I came up with that weekend. It's not real beef. I have nothing against the kind man who came to fix our air conditioning.
Okay.
But we made an appointment for Monday morning because our air conditioner is super new. And we were like, we're going to go through the company that installed it because we don't want to
only 3 years old, and everybody I told was like, oh, you should. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Is that how they talk?
Everybody guffawed.
Wow. I love a good guffaw. So we were like, we're going to go through the company that installed it, make sure that we're not paying anything extra. It's not like cheapskates, but we are.
No, that's why you pay a lot of money the first time. So the warranty, guys.
So they were like, no one could come out till Monday. And, you know, the earliest slot you could get was like 8 a.m. And then like, was it even 8? It might have been started at 9, I feel like. This is where I decided to go on a real diatribe. But I stand by it.
Go.
I believe certain industries should just start earlier.
Oh, right.
And maybe this is because I, as a person, like to get up early, get my day started. Like if I could start work at 6 a.m.
Okay.
This is also because I work from home.
Let's get into this. Let's get into this a little bit.
If I could start my day working.
Yeah.
If I can make my own hours.
Yeah.
Start my day at 6 a.m.
Already terrible. Go ahead.
I've done it, 3? I don't know. What's 6 plus 8, 9?
15. It'd be 3.
6 plus 9 is 3. You'd be done at 3. Yeah. And I remember when we had young babies, our children would wake up at 5 in the morning, be ready to go, just a baby. And you would be at home needing sleep because you worked nights at that time. And so I'd be like, I want to take the kid out and do something. I can't just be in my living room, like trying to play with a child quietly. Like I want to go do something. I want to run my errands for the day. Be like, if I could go grocery shop, get everything done at 6 a.m. Maybe I'm crazy, but like to me, when you're up so early with a baby and you have to wait until everything starts at 9.
So here's the thing. I don't
two different things there.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I just don't think an air conditioning company needs to start at 6 because your kids are up at 6.
No, that's different. But I'm also thinking like people without ACs are desperate to get their ACs on. Let's get that thing kicking before the sun's up. I don't know how it works with sound. You know, like I know there's like noise ordinances.
There's neighbors who have ACs working fine. They don't need.
Sure.
Because you know he was taking a hammer to it, right?
Was he? It was pretty quiet. I don't think he did
wasn't.
anything loud at all. He could have snuck into the backyard. Nobody knew he was there.
I wouldn't have let him.
And then he could have been
Nobody
done
sneaks
at
past
3.
my
and then
backyard.
he gets all these people's ACs started before the heat starts. And he has his whole afternoon free to do whatever his heart desires.
You just described
or they.
Santa.
I'm speaking specifically about one man that had fixed heart.
You just described Santa Claus.
Santa doesn't start. Well,
You just said he sneaks in, fixes their ACs, and he's gone before they wake up.
No, we would
That's
be awake.
Santa Claus.
We would be awake for the man to show up.
You said
or
sneaks
woman.
in.
He sneaks in as far as the neighbors are concerned.
Okay.
They're never going to hear him.
Yeah, no, I know what you're saying, and I don't disagree with it on certain places. Like like trampoline parks and Chuck E. Cheese.
That's where you go straight to. Trampoline park needs to open at 6.
I think all of them need to open at 6.
Yeah,
I would
let's
agree
get
with
going.
that, and then have them close earlier than they
Sure.
probably do.
Well, but then people want to go after work.
Then you just hire more
But
people.
sometimes they close at like 6.
It's
and
more
like,
revenue.
What are we doing? Nobody's.
It's more revenue.
Yeah.
You're adding another shift.
Yeah.
I do agree with that. There are some places I'm mad. I can't think of one. There is like a specific business that doesn't open until like 9, and it's a kids focused business, and I'm just like, this makes no sense.
Kids gyms.
Yeah, I haven't been to a kids gym in a while.
I remember though, even like playgrounds, which are like open, I assume you can go to at all hours.
Dusk till dawn.
All hours. Nobody would be there.
Dawn till dusk.
That's
not dusk till dawn. That's the bad time to go.
Yeah.
That's when the kids are
no kids are
spraying
there.
acid on there and inappropriate words.
That's where I would go show up at with our little 1-year-old at like 7 a.m. and there'd be nobody there. And I was like, where are all the parents with the kids that have been up for 2 hours already? What are you guys doing?
I don't know. I don't have a solve for that. But we got the AC fixed.
It's just my rant. Sorry.
It's a good rant. Let's
get stuff started.
I disagree
early.
that the AC company should start before, but you know.
Fine. You're also not an early bird, so you're not even really entitled to this conversation.
No, well, here's part of why. I know I'm not an early bird. And that's kind of the reason I'm arguing for the non-early birds.
Well, don't misunderstand me. I don't think any AC company should have to do anything they don't want to. I just think there should be AC companies that are like, you know what? We're going to get a jump on the day.
Okay.
If you like it, you should be able to. If you want to go to your job early and get it done early, I think that should be allowed.
You're going to start a company and just jump on the day AC?
Yeah. No, I don't know anything about ACs, clearly.
No, you're just the face of the company.
Oh, okay.
And
Sure.
you're just calling
I've
people.
always wanted to be
And you're
the
just
face
calling
of
people
something.
at 6:15 being like, where are you? Because they all slept in. Because they don't have toddlers. Because they're in their early 20s.
That's fine.
And they disagree with you.
Maybe it's a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea. I just remember our plumber when he fixed, because we've had a year, fixed our burst pipe. I remember one time I was like, what time can you come? Like 7? And he was like, oh my God, no. I'm going to wake up, I'm going to have breakfast, and I will get to you when I get to you. And I was like,
as well, you should.
I really appreciated the honesty
Yeah.
from him, because it was like a 3-day job. And I was like, yes, sir. I just remember
For sure.
being like, sorry, Dad. Or
Yeah.
Sir. Yes. Okay. There's some people that
I think you thought he might want to get out the door earlier because he was tired of being at our house because
Well,
things kept going wrong. And
he
it was
was-
like day number 4.
he's he was like 60 in his 60s. And I can understand. I think there's 2 ways you go. I'm speaking for 60-year-olds. But hey, write in if you have a different opinion. But I feel like there's 2 ways you go when you turn 60 and you've had kids.
Okay.
It's either you're stuck in that regiment where
Uh-huh.
you're up at 5:30, work or no work. It's just like who you are now.
Yeah.
Your body, just whatever.
I think sleep just gets harder as you get older.
And sleep gets harder.
Yeah.
Or you're somebody who's like, no, I don't want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
I
good
did it for
you.
so long. I don't
Do
want
whatever
to
you
do it
want.
anymore.
Yeah.
You can't make me. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
I'm just looking out for those guys.
I guess likewise, I think if you want to work from 3 p.m. to midnight, you have at it. Like, I could never. Every time I tell myself
you
I'm
say
going to
you
do
could
something.
never. You bartended in the East Village.
Well, I could never since then. I was in my 20s. I'm plus years from that. Plus many.
You don't need to do the math. We saw you do 6 + 9.
Yeah, I'm not doing the math. Not that I'm ashamed of it. I tell myself all the time that I'm going to do something after our children go to bed. In fact, I tell myself I'm going to do a lot of some things. I tell myself I'm going to clean up. You know what? After I go to bed tonight, I think I'm going to clean up. I'm going to watch that show I've been meaning to watch, and I'm going to write some material.
A novel.
Yeah, and every night I put them to bed, and then I sometimes just walk straight from their bedroom into our bedroom, calling it.
I'm giving you a hard time, but I definitely.
I'm giving you a hard time.
I'm joshing you. I definitely stay up later than you, but not by much unless I'm doing something useless, like watching a TV or playing a video game. But yeah, if I stay up to work, it is so much harder.
Yeah.
But I'm also useless in the morning. I might just be useless. Maybe I'm just a
Useless person?
12 to 8 guy.
12 to 8? I think most people are probably, those are the best hours.
Yeah, I wake up at 5:30, rarely anymore. I haven't done it in so long, but I used to wake up at 5:30, and the number of times I would get up at 5:30 because I was like, I would like to get this project done, this thing, whether it's writing or something in the house, whatever. And then I am on social media or whatever for like 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, you woke up to do that?
That's the worst feeling.
It's the worst feeling.
Yeah.
And I've done it so many times that I stopped waking up at 5:30.
Yeah.
I should try to get up at like 6:30. I've kind of just given up, and I'm like, well, I'll just wake up when the kids wake up.
The key to me is to do some kind of like not super brainy task. Like either I get up and I go straight to the gym, get my body functioning, or I get up and I have something to do for work that's not like super thought intensive.
When is this going to stop happening? And this is like a conversation everybody's had a million times. And I know it's unoriginal, but how do we get that out of our brains of like, I hate waking up to go to the gym. I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I hate it so much.
Okay.
Every time you ask me, are you going to wake up and go to the gym in the morning? I like...
Yeah. Yeah.
Every time you ask me, I have a chemical reaction in my brain. Every time I do it, I feel great. Never gets easier.
I don't know. You just need sleep. Sleep's important too.
I think I just like sleep so much.
Well, we don't get enough
The little
of it.
sleep gremlin in my brain gets real mad at you.
Yeah.
When you ask that question.
I don't mean to piss you off, bro.
You're not pissing me off. You're pissing off the sleep gremlin in my brain.
Sorry, dude.
He pulls the lever sometimes.
Sorry, my man.
It's just funny how that happens. And our gym opens at 5:30, and when I go there and I'm out of there at like 6:30, 7, I'm like, oh man, I've got the whole day and I worked out and I feel great. I don't that night go, let's do that again. I'm like,
no,
don't do that. That was awful.
No.
I was like, it wasn't awful. It was fine.
Yeah.
It was genuinely fine. I don't know.
The waking up part wasn't fine, but the waking part at 7 sometimes isn't fine.
Yeah, sometimes
waking up is just not fun. Well, I mean, it's ideal that you do it, but
because of the AC kerfuffle and
kerfuffle
and what we'll talk about next.
Mm-hmm.
Our daughter, you were at the gym this morning. I was not. If anyone's paying attention to what I've been saying, could guess. At the gym this morning, I woke up to our daughter, who did sleep in our bed last night, tapping me on the shoulder at 6:30 in the morning. And I opened my eyes and just saw her, and she just gave me a thumbs like, come on, let's get up.
What time was it?
It was 6:30.
Oh. Ugh.
But I was just like,
come on, man.
The sleep gremlin didn't get mad at her.
Sleep gremlin.
I have a sleep gremlin. He was like, because I did go to bed kind of early. So I was like, I'm just doing this for me. But let's discuss why we broke our weekend rule of why our daughter slept in our bed on a weekday night.
Yeah, well, she's been in there a lot lately because everybody's been puking.
My God.
Puke, 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 puke. But not me. I didn't get it somehow this time.
Yeah. We all had the
Norovirus,
which I haven't had in years because the last time this thing visited our family, you guys got it,
we
not
all got
me.
It. Yeah.
Now we all got it, not you.
Yeah. I don't know how, because both times I think I'm like, when the family gets sick, listen, I don't mean to martyr myself, but I throw myself in front of that grenade.
Yeah, my mom doesn't think you're smart.
I know. It's I was gonna say I don't care, but that sounded so flippant. I just don't. I just couldn't stop myself if I tried.
Yeah. There's two.
When I see those little kids sick, I just want to get my mouth as close to their mouth. That sounds horrible. I just want to cuddle them as close as I can. And like my son was just like, let's sleep face to face. I want to just breathe into your nose holes. And I was like, let's have it. And I'll be here for you.
Yeah, that's bad. That's a bad strategy.
But
I understand why you want to do it.
I have to. And I can't stop it.
You don't have to. You don't have to.
I think I do.
What if you get cripplingly ill, but he's still ill and he needs you, but you're just like, you're wrecked.
That's what you're there for. Your backup. Backup quarterback has to step in.
Me?
Yeah.
I'm already spraying the walls.
You're not supposed to be, though. That's what we did. We saved you. We sent you to the other room. And I was like, go away. Like, I'm cuddling them. We don't need you. I was like, Harry and the Hendersons do. I like slapped you and was like, get out of here. We don't want you anymore. And I sent you back to the forest.
Yeah, this is like I think people who don't believe in science are stupid. But I will say this. Sometimes science doesn't make sense because you slept with our son who started throwing up first.
Mm-hmm. Well, he did sleep in our bed. He came in our bed, puked in our bed.
Oh.
Then I went back to his bed with him after we both cleaned the sheets.
Can we stop, though, real quick and talk about it? Because it's like one of my favorite little moments.
Yeah. What?
You were immediately on the same page with me. I'm not pretending you panicked, but you had
I always panic at first.
Your first initial reaction was panic.
I'm not cool as a cucumber in the moment.
Was he sat up, which woke us both up immediately.
Yeah.
I think before he threw up, maybe? Yeah. It was like something about what he did made us both jerk up.
He sat up sharply or something.
Yeah. So we turn around, I sit up, and then he just like barfs onto the comforter.
I think it was his head spinning first in a circle.
Oh, yeah. He was speaking Latin backwards.
Yeah.
And he starts puking onto the comforter.
Yeah.
And then you started to say like my name or something. You're like, and I was like, we're here. And I started rubbing his back because I was like, he's already got it.
Oh, yeah.
Like you were clearly trying to
get a bowl.
You didn't know what
something.
to say.
Yeah.
It was a panic moment.
It was like, do something, but then you're like, there's nothing to be done.
I was like, nah,
it's
man.
It's already everywhere.
He's got it. And I was just rubbing his back like,
yeah.
This is the grossest thing I'll say, but we're just going to sit in it for a second.
Yeah.
We're just going to let him.
Well, because, I think I thought maybe you could lift him up and bring him to the toilet.
Like a dog
but then he
peeing.
might just vomit all the way down the hall and all over the rug. And so, just let him.
Oh, it's in a drawer that I didn't see a week later.
Yeah, just let him have it.
Let him have his moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we let him shine, that little star. Then we got him all cleaned up and then cleaned up our bed. And then I took him to bed and I took one for the team for the rest of the night. You were there for that initial.
So I was there for the initial. And then the next night.
Then that whole next day I cuddled him.
The next day you cuddled him. And I was.
Occasionally you'd be drawn in because he's very cute.
It's very sweet. But I was also like washing my hands vigorously, which I.
Not me.
Yeah.
Dirty bird
over here, living in filth. And I was just washing my hands. And then that night, our daughter, then, it was so, like, throwing up is not funny in the moment, but it is so funny after.
Yeah.
Because our daughter we just saw her walk past the doorway of the hall. We were in the living room. We just hear her going to the bathroom, and then we just hear her make an ejection sound that I immediately was like, that wasn't the toilet. You just tell by its landing location.
Oh, I don't think that was like you had this sixth sense. It was like a Double Dare episode in our bathroom.
I know. No. I'm not saying I was clever and picked up on it. I just knew right away, and that was the thought that went in my head was like, oh, that's not the toilet.
Yeah.
Wherever that was, it wasn't the toilet.
It was everywhere but.
It was
and
everywhere
maybe
but.
Yeah.
And then you took her to bed, and then you cuddled her. And it was like, I'm in the guest bed night.
Yeah.
Cleaned up the bathroom for like an hour. And I won't get into the details because nobody wants to get grossed out, but I cleaned it. And then I went to bed at about midnight. And then at 2, I was like, oh, it's my turn.
Yeah.
You never got it.
And you said you can swap out. I'll take over from here.
I did. I walked in. I was like, you get out of here.
And then I've been on watch ever since, but I don't know how I escaped it. I feel so lucky.
Blessed. Hashtag blessed.
Hashtag blessed.
Hashtag blessed. The Lord needed me to be healthy, so he didn't do this.
It was a gross week. Norovirus is gross. The abs are strong in this house right now.
My neck hurt this morning.
I bet, man. I heard some of the noises you were making.
There are signs of getting older that are real disappointing. And one of them is like, I had norovirus when I was a kid, had it in my 20s. Some of it, sometimes I threw up in my 20s. It wasn't norovirus. My point is, I've never woken up with like sore neck. And I was.
Yeah.
And that was 2 days ago. I wasn't sick yesterday.
Yeah.
It was 2 days ago. And this is another thing, getting old. I think I just overdid it because I had that guilt that you have when you're sick.
Yeah.
Another thing about being an adult that sucks. It's like when you're 20s and you lose a day, you're like, oh, okay, who cares?
Yeah.
And then you just live your life and it's great.
Yeah.
Now, an adult, I I was doing a lot of stuff before. We were organizing I was organizing the pantry. You were organizing the game cabinet. This is before everybody got sick.
Yeah.
And everybody got sick, and that whole next day was wasted. And by wasted, I mean taking care of my children and my future. But like,
yeah,
it was wasted. It was a waste of a day.
They were watching screens. They didn't need us.
It was just like making sure they were sipping water so they could barf it up 3 hours later. And then
I knew you were overdoing it, and I asked you.
I didn't feel like. Here's the thing.
Were...
I didn't feel like I was overdoing it.
Yeah, but I knew you were being like, "Oh, I feel bad," and do it because you were in the kitchen cleaning. I was like, "What are you doing? Go sit down. Go lay down."
Yeah, because I was throwing up the whole night before, and then I woke up that morning, and I like.
You took that day off.
Did I take that day off?
Yeah. You took a couple naps.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And by took it off, I mean you were like
yesterday
non-functional.
I was non-functional.
Yeah, it was yesterday that you were like.
Yesterday when I was like, I think I'm good.
You did have to take a day.
I did have to take a day
because it took you out. Yeah.
So then the next day, Monday, the kids stayed home from school, but everybody was kind of fine. And then the kids were kind of achy. And then, I overdid it. And now I'm feeling it the next day like, oh, what a bummer. Guess this is going to be 40.
Can't do it. Can't do too much. You got to.
I'm not 40 yet, but I'm there.
Ease back. You're 40. You're basically 40.
Not 40. I'm not 40.
So close to 40.
40 years ago, I wasn't born.
You could smell 40.
40 years ago, couldn't smell anything because I was in my mom's belly.
You can't smell when you're in the belly?
It's more placenta.
That's what 40 smells like.
Placenta?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You'll see when you get there. It's weird.
That's a shame.
It's not great.
To that.
So, wait, there's one other thing in the midst of all this that I teased in my Instagram stories if anyone was listening.
Anyone following the riddles?
Anyone following the teaser trailers. So, before my daughter got sick, before you got sick, I took her out because I was like, we can't just be home all day. Mm-hmm. This is probably terrible. She was probably contagious. But at the time, nobody was sick. So, we went to the mall.
And it's symptoms. She wasn't contagious.
Huh?
She wasn't symptomatic,
We're
so
not
she
doctors.
wasn't contagious. I'm repeating what my mom says. So if anyone says I'm wrong, take it up with my mom.
Here's her
She
address.
will fight you. She's a Boston nurse, and she has a knife.
What?
Well, like a kitchen knife somewhere.
Everybody's got a knife.
Everyone technically has a knife.
So, trying to get out of the house, trying to get away from it all. Brought my daughter to the mall.
Uh-huh.
I've been back into malls lately.
Welcome back.
Yeah, it's
They're
fun.
mostly for drone racing
They're
now.
great.
Okay.
No, we have one really good one near us.
We do, but most of the Midwestern malls are drone racing places now.
Yeah. I took some time off of malls. I'm a big online shopper because I don't like to go out. And I don't have time to go out.
Sorry, I am speechless as if you had like a breakup with malls.
I guess I just haven't been in malls in years.
It's just the way you said it. Anyway. I haven't been to the malls lately.
I haven't been to a mall in years.
Last time I went, there wasn't a wishing well, and well, that was it for me.
Lately, I've been back into malls. Our daughter
Auntie Anne's was closed.
Is into Hello Kitty and Sanrio, and there's a mall near us that has a Sanrio store, which is so expensive, and a couple other.
Please sponsor the podcast, Sanrio.
Yeah, please. We're gonna need it for Christmas. And another store that has some Hello Kitty stuff. So we went to just like kill some time, walk around. I had a return to do.
Yeah.
We're walking around a mall. Malls are new to our kids too. Like we don't take our kids shopping. So every once in a while I like go, do we not take our kids out of the house? Like every once in a while we'll take them out to dinner or something and they'll be absolutely feral, or we'll be out with friends and their kids are acting normal and our kids are acting like not bad behavior.
Not good.
But not good because they're just like
overstimulated,
like foaming at the mouth.
Yeah.
To be wherever they are. So we went to the mall. My daughter was just like not being overstimulated. She's just like, well, yeah, maybe overstimulated, but she was not being like crazy or anything.
There's something about two kids together. Yeah. Doesn't matter how many parents are there. It's bad.
Yeah, it can be rough.
Because if it's one-on-one, so I know if it seems like it would be two parents, two kids, it's good. But no, the two kids feed off each other and they're nightmares. But even if one parent, one kid, it's not so bad. Because you can kind of like, hey, you can be patient with them, wrangle them. Two of them, call it quits. So
we got to the mall. We were having a lovely time. She was just excited by everything, amazed by everything. Yeah. I'm loving it. I'm like, let's walk around. Like, we've got no agenda, really. We have to go to do this return. And then I was like, you know what? Let's get this return just out of the way so that I don't have this bag in my hands. Because I also brought not like a shopping bag, but it was in the shipping bag that it was sent in. So I was carrying around a bag awkwardly, just holding the side of it. So we are walking to the store, and I don't know what came over her, but there was like, sometimes in malls, you know, there's just like walls, and they'll have a glass pane and then like a mannequin behind it or some kind of sign behind it.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like into a store. It's just like a little kind of mall display.
Display window, yeah.
Yeah. But it was into nothing. I don't know what she thought it was, and I don't remember what was behind the display. But she went, "Hey, Mom, watch this," and just walked face first into the glass.
Oh.
So hard.
Yeah.
And made this scream, and then grabbed her nose. And it was one of those times I can tell she's hurting so bad.
But
and I want to laugh so bad because I was like, what just got into you?
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand what the thought was.
Yeah.
In my back of my head, I'm realizing she didn't see that there was glass there. This is how fancy this mall is. The glass was too clean.
It's not fancy. It's just kind of.
Yeah. I mean, they're taking good care of their glass.
Name one smudgy mall.
I'm sure there's tons of smudgy malls.
Name one.
Where I grew up in Lawton, Oklahoma, we had a smudgy mall.
What's the smudgy mall called?
Central Mall.
That's one of the highest rated drone malls in America.
Is it?
Because it's closed.
Could be. My mom worked there. Shouldn't be talking poorly of it. God rest her soul.
I think we can make some leaps because your late mom worked at a mall.
And I don't want to speak about it now. Maybe it's gotten really great.
Smudgeless.
Smudgeless. So our daughter walks into this class, and I look around. The only one person around us saw it. It was another mom, but like a little older than me with like an adult daughter.
Yeah.
And she just like looked at me as I'm like, you know, one of those immediate, like, grab the kid, pull her into your chest, and just like hold her so tight.
Yeah.
Because she's like crying.
Poor thing.
Sobbing. And the mom like looked at me like, "Oh my God, Jill." And I was like, "Yeah, I know. What happened?" My daughter pulls back from me. She's got her hands on her nose, and then she goes, "Oh no, oh no." And she's got blood all over her hands. And then I'm like, "Oh God, oh no." Because now I don't know what we're dealing with. You hugged her too tight.
Because it was your fault.
No, I didn't squish her nose.
Just the whole, like, I sleep with them nose to my mouth or whatever you just said. It's smothering. It's smothering. You crushed her.
So I'm trying to be, like, calm. You know, those moments where you're like, oh, no, I don't. You know, like when she's broken her arm or something, you're like, I don't know what we're dealing with, but I need to be chill for you.
We're so bad about that. We'll get into it, but go ahead.
Yeah, there's a moment where I'm like, this could be, I don't know what a broken nose looks like, but I would imagine it immediately explodes with blood.
A lot of things make a nose bleed. I wouldn't go straight to that every time. Doesn't mean it didn't break.
No, I wasn't sure. But I'm thinking it's a possibility, a strong possibility, with the force that she walked into the window.
Yeah. Went
nose first.
Yeah.
So I pull her over to like one of those little benches in the middle of the mall, and we sit down, and I'm kind of just like sitting there with her. Luckily I had some tissues on me. We're like cleaning her up a little.
Yeah.
And I could tell that she's like rubbing her nose in a way that like, I'm again, not a doctor, but I'm assuming if it's broken, you wouldn't want to be touching it that hard.
Yeah, I don't know. Never broke my nose.
I don't know. So anyway, I'm like, it's probably not broken. Her mood starts to clear. I think we had to text you a photo of her bloody hands or something. She needed to share with you what we'd been through.
Yeah.
In some way. So we did that. And she's calming down. And then I'm like, you know what? We're right at this store. Let's go do this return. Yeah,
we got to finish. We're here. We're here.
And then we'll get a snack, and I'll see about getting some ice in a napkin or something. Her mood has shifted enough that I think that that's okay.
Got it.
I make that decision.
Great. Good job.
We get to the store. I wasn't just returning. I was going to try to exchange. So I'm looking around for the clothes that I'm trying to match to the clothes that I bought that I want a different size in. I'm wandering the store, can't find it. No one's walking around like looking, like to help. So I can't ask somebody for help.
Oh, you wanted help. Well, that was the whole reason you're not going to malls, because you hate interactions.
Normally I would never ask for help, but in this circumstance I'm willing to ask for some help. Okay. But there was nobody to help. The only people that were in the store were like ringing people up. So finally, I bring her to the dressing room. I try something on, and she's like, "Can we get some ice soon?"
Oh no!
And then I was like, "Oh God, I'm a terrible human. I'm a terrible mom." She's like, "No, we're fine. We're fine." She's very like people pleasery.
She's too much of a fixer, which is like I hate for her. I'm gonna love it so much when I'm old.
She never wants to be like a burden.
Old,
she's such a people
oh my God,
pleaser.
and I feel lonely. Oh my God, it's so great to get her to come
like,
over.
Oh
my God,
I'm missing you.
I can't find my glasses. She's like, you don't wear glasses. I was like, oh, I guess my brain's going. She's like, all right, I'll be over to make lunch.
It feels like oldest daughter stuff, but it's also like, is it our fault? I don't know. Is it me? She did tell me once. Actually, I think it was that day. She kept apologizing. She kept saying, sorry for hitting my nose. Like, you have to stop apologizing. That was a mistake. She said, well, I get it from you. I was like, that's really unfair, but also true. Okay, and I'm sorry about that. And then she said, no, I'm sorry. And then I said, no, I'm sorry. And then we just had silence.
And you guys were there for 16 hours apologizing.
Anyway, I got her out of there. And her nose seemed to be fine. By the time we got to get a pretzel and a cold drink, she was like, I don't think I need ice anymore. But there was a brief moment where I was like, she definitely broke her nose because it looked like she had 2 black eyes. And that's because something she got from you.
Oh, we didn't have to trade. This wasn't a...
She just has some dark under eye circles sometimes that she got from her daddy. She's beautiful. And so are you.
Thanks. I need some sleep. And that was right before we all got sick.
That's right before everybody.
But after the AC.
Yeah. It's been a lot of stuff.
It's been a real lot of stuff. It's been...
Especially for her. Every time I feel bad for us, I'm like, that kid broke her arm, got COVID, had an infection. She's just really been through the ringer. Almost broke her nose in a mall window.
She's done 2 very funny things this week. I only saw one of them, which is the puking one on the wall.
Yeah.
Like I said, I think vomiting is funny. Even me throwing up was objectively funny because it's stupid. Stupid thing we do. It's one of the reasons one of your books that you find amusing is Everyone Poops.
Sure. I used to.
You don't poop anymore?
I hate you.
But it's like one of the things I think is just funny about everybody and everything. It was like even the most serious person who's just like, God, that guy's just a straight arrow. And this is just so serious. Always wears a suit and he doesn't like jokes and he's just like, God, that guy's a real stick in the mud. That guy poops and he throws up sometimes. And it's funny. Every time it's funny.
Sometimes he goes in a little room right next to you. He poops right next to you.
Poops right next to you and he's just so incredibly vulnerable and not having a good time doing it.
Yeah.
And it's just funny to me.
Popping out of his
it's a funny thing to me that everybody does that, and it's very disarming, and it's a funny thing to think about every single person.
You also, too, like, and not to go too much further, because I think we should wrap this up, but you had that experience, which is also very strange and very vulnerable, when you realize, like, you were puking in the bathroom of our house, and, like, nobody knew. Do you ever have that moment where you're, like, you're sick, you're throwing up. And
when I threw up at like 2 a.m?
No, but not even then. You did it once in the afternoon and you came out and I was like, you okay? And you were like, I just threw up. I don't know if you thought I knew it was happening, but I certainly didn't.
Well, there's certain things you can't muffle. And that's vomiting aggressively because of a stomach illness.
Yeah, but Bluey was on and I was talking to the kid. And,
yeah, that's funny.
Stuff happening. It's just so strange to sometimes be in that moment and like life is just happening. Just like 10 feet away from you and no one knows what you're going through.
I thought for certain you did hear me that time that I came out and I was like, wow, you really didn't hear that? Yeah. That's crazy. But I was aware of that at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
When I was throwing up for the first time.
At that time, not the first time, but the second time in the middle of the night, I did hear you.
The second time?
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah, the first time I was just like, I could go back to bed now. Nobody would ever know this happened to me.
I didn't.
But, yeah.
We made it through.
We made it through.
And you look svelte, my dude.
Lost 3 pounds. I don't know that I lost 3 pounds. Since the last time I weighed myself, I lost 3 pounds. But I know it didn't hurt.
See? You don't even need to get up early and go to the gym.
Stay healthy, everyone. Wash your hands or don't and sleep with your children who are sick and you'll be fine. I don't know.
Mouth to mouth of the 4-year-old. Who knows? He's 5.
He's 5. He's 12 plus 6.
Yes.
That's a pretty eventful week.
A few weeks ago, we did say there were some things we're going to recommit to.
I'd like to recommit to not throwing up.
Well, I'm just saying we never did an update, but maybe we can do that next time.
Yeah, we should do that.
I forget what yours were. I think they were like fix stuff around the house, and you've done that. And mine was like be off my phone a little more, and you've done that, and
okay,
I'm proud
great.
of you.
I've done the fixing stuff around the house. Great. Let's recap next week about our recommitments, and then maybe make some new recommitments.
Okay. Deal.
Great. It's good talking
Don't
to you.
get sick.
I won't. Don't get sick. Again. Still don't get sick?
Forever. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me. Love you.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.